people that are captive?
I was lucky in Wakefield, Rhode Island. We had a show at the library, and Pam Mead contacted the newspaper, and they came over, and Karen Fagel, the writer, wrote up a resume on me with front page photographs about inventions that I came up with about my heritage in Ireland. So we were off to the races and put on a good show, and after that I've done maybe 100 places in Rhode Island, mostly assisted living, but no, I still continue to this day, and I enjoy them. I like the people, I like their sweetness and gentleness, and they enjoy what I have to give them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah, I've told them, I said, your mother and father would be very proud of you, knowing what you're doing.
Yeah, it's inspiring. It's inspiring. You
Well,
know,
my
it's
mother
just-
wouldn't be quite as proud. She used to say to me,
That's what she said to you.
what are you doing up there making a fool out of yourself?
She didn't say that to anybody else. She said it to
Oh,
you.
she enjoyed what I did.
Everything was my Jackie this and my Jackie that.
What do you remember most about his mother, Mary?
Um,
And her name is what? What was?
Agnes.
Oh, Agnes. Okay.
Agnes White Rogan.
Okay.
And she was a little leery of me, I think, at first. I think she knew that he liked me a lot. So she wasn't too sure about me, but
She wasn't ready to give up to Jack yet, huh?
No, that's why I say she didn't say things like that to him. She'd tell everybody else though.
Mm-hmm.
My Jackie. But we became very good friends, especially after we had children. And oh yeah, I lived with her for a few months before she went to England for a visit.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, she had a stroke there,
Mm.
and she passed away there. Jack was able to get there before she did die.
Wow.
So that was.
How would you describe her physically? How
She
tall?
was a small lady, and she had a wonderful laugh when you could get her to laugh. And she loved children, and yeah, she was.
She loved Perry Como,
Oh, she
Patty
did.
Como? Yeah.
She did. Yes.
Red Skelton.
Yeah.
Right.
So how did you all end up in Meriden? I guess well, you moved to Connecticut and
And we lived in Massachusetts,
Massachusetts.
and he got a job with the territory in Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one place on the Cape or in Connecticut here. So I said, "Oh, it's Connecticut." I was familiar with Connecticut because I had relatives here.
Mm-hmm.
So we chose Connecticut, and
So I saw your first house. What was that like, moving into that first house? Do you remember that day?
oh yes,
Yeah.
I was very happy there. It was a little cape, and we had 3.5 children when we moved in,
Mm.
and we had 6 when we had to start looking for another place, bigger place.
Yeah.
So
But you had room to spread out with the 3 kids, and
yes,
you still had there was a playground across the street.
there were cows across the street when we
It was
moved
all
in.
pasture land.
Right.
Then,
Yeah.
But we had a wonderful neighbor who's been a lifelong friend, and I see her every week, once a week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mrs.
That was
Sullivan.
the best thing we did, was moving next to the Sullivans.
Yes. In fact, it was her sister's house that we moved into. Her sister had lived there.
Wow. So you stayed there how long in that
only
place?
only about 5 years, and
Mm-hmm.
we had the last child we had was on the way, so we had to get a bigger place.
Time to move.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so then I saw the second house that you moved into.
Yes, it was a beautiful house.
It's that house on the corner.
Yeah, colonial.
Uh-huh. What was that address?
That was 2 Higby Drive.
2 Higbee Drive.
Yeah.
And your first house, what was that?
731 B Street.
731 B or
B.
B Street. And then once you got in that, your second house, you had some room to spread out.
Oh, did we? It was so big we got lost in it. There were 5 bedrooms and 2 baths upstairs,
Mm-hmm.
and a laundry room with a full bath downstairs, shower, and yeah, it was a wonderful house.
Yeah. So Jack, how did you pick that house?
Andy Sullivan recommended I go see Vito Del Favro, my friend, Dick Del Favro's father. And Vito came up with a plan over the weekend. He sold us that beautiful house for $24,000. This is back in 1962. And I helped do some of the things. But he, for the most part, he donated that house to us. It was the best house we ever had.
Wow.
But it was the beginning of an upswing for him, because shortly after that, the neighborhood built.
Right. We
People
were
started building
the
houses.
model
And they
house.
were all hardwood floors throughout the whole house, except in the laundry room and in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
Hardwood floors. Imagine
Mm-hmm. That was a luxury then.
9-room house.
Wow.
I did a lot of the landscaping, and I bought some beautiful trees, bald, for $10 a piece, and I planted a couple of dozen of them. And Vito said I was planting a forest.
So how long did you stay there in that house?
10 years.
10
Right.
years?
62 to 73.
Mm-hmm. And so you were ready to leave. What sparked this next move?
Oh,
Telephone, right?
telephone, yes, telephone service here.
We had to pay a toll to call New Haven.
And so we decided to move to Wallingford, where it was no toll.
Right,
But shortly after that, the company gave them an office in New Haven.
right.
Really? I mean, was it significant in the toll that you pay?
Well, it
It
was
was
to
more
us,
convenient
yeah.
to get closer to New Haven. New Haven was becoming more the center of my business,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a good move. We enjoyed doing what we did. Moved into a nice house. Jack Sima built it for us. He was a friend of Dick Del Favro's, and we were happy there. We enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So you moved. We looked at this morning. I guess then the third house that you moved in.
Cider Hill in Wallingford,
Okay, what was the address there, Jim?
64.
Cider Hill Road.
64 Cider Hill Road.
Mhm.
So that's up near where the twins, right?
That's up near Choate.
Choate. Okay. Yep, we saw that. Who was the your neighbors to the left of you?
To the left, facing the house,
Mm-hmm.
was Coils,
Coils. Okay, yeah, we saw that house this morning.
and to the right were DiMartino.
DiMartino. Okay.
They're wonderful neighbors.
We met her this summer last, right?
Yeah.
In the
and-
shopping center.
I don't know, he has a fantastic eye for and remembrance of
Mhm.
faces.
So what was that move like when you moved there? Was
Uh,
hard? Was that a hard move?
no, it wasn't too bad at all. In fact, it was a good move, because shortly after that I went to work.
Hmm.
Billy was, I think he was, let me see, 62 to 73, he was 11. And a neighbor whose husband was a doctor asked, she told me that she had to find somebody to do some secretarial work for him. So I said, Pat, if you can wait until I get settled here, I'll try it, you know. So I did, and I lasted 15 years working for him.
I never knew that. What were you doing? Secretarial work for doctor?
Became the office manager. I did just about everything.
She was an amateur psychiatrist.
No, I wasn't.
But he was a psychiatrist,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful.
They talked to her before they went to see him.
Did
It's
they?
true.
You're
Okay.
making it up.
So you went to Did he help with the family? Did the family get free visits?
No, we didn't need any of that stuff.
That's where I did my practice at home.
So you were how long in that house then?
73
years.
to 88.
Uh-huh. So what was going on in the kids' lives at that time?
They're in, well, 2 were in college, and 3 were in high school.
John and Peg were in college.
Yes. The other kids, they went to Lyman Hall.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Kate didn't go to Lyman Hall. There were 3 of them. One was, Kate stayed with the Sullivans for a year, for the school year, because her daughter Peggy, who you met yesterday, suggested to Marge that she have Kate come and stay so she wouldn't have to change schools during her junior year to her senior year.
Nice.
They were wonderful people.
Wow.
So Kate stayed there,
Mm.
and
Mm. They'd do anything for you, wouldn't they?
they were
Yeah.
real,
That kind of neighbors.
real Christian people.
Still are the same.
Still
way.
are the same
Mhm.
way. In
Well,
fact, when she heard everyone was coming, she said, "Well, you know, I have 3 bedrooms upstairs. They can stay here."
So now, with the schools at Nathan Hale,
That
did
was
you?
in Meriden.
That was in Meriden. Did you work on the PTA? He did.
Yes.
What did you do with the PTA?
Well, we arranged entertainment, parent-teachers nights. We were rather progressive and aggressive, representing the parents vis-a-vis the teachers.
Mm-hmm.
And Rose Mulligan was the principal. She was an extraordinarily good, forceful leader. So she went right along with the program we pursued. We did a good job. I thought we were effective.
Mm. Was this the time that you lived in this last place? Was that when Tommy's kids came and stayed with you?
Yes.
In Higby Drive it was.
Higby
Not in,
Drive.
Yeah, in Walling, and the big house.
In Higby Drive, that's when they came.
Mhm.
So you had, fortunately, a big house, but then you absorbed 3 other children.
Room
Oh.
there.
4 other children?
Just for a while. We had.
How did that, must have been,
It was difficult.
uh-huh.
The babies were easy to take care of, but it was the older girl that was hard for her.
Uh-huh. She was just going through an emotional time with
Mhm.
everything, huh? Yeah.
But worked out all right for a while, and then Tommy's wife's sister took them
Mm-hmm.
back to Massachusetts
Mm-hmm.
because they're more familiar with everything there, and
Mm-hmm.
they knew the grandmother was there, and the sister and her husband and the children that they were all familiar with. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So have you keep in touch with
I
them?
sure do.
You
Yeah.
keep in touch with them, yeah.
I have.
Yeah. So that was just another challenging time, and it was like, I guess at the time you knew that was the right decision to make, Jack, huh? It was just have them come stay.
We did for a
Andy's helped me. Some of my uncles helped me a great deal. But what we did is, essentially, we rehabbed the house that they lived in Chelmsford. We turned in the car to the Backmans, who were the adoptive family. We transferred some of the funds that were available to them. We set them up. They bought a house. They were all together. And it was like a new start for everybody.
Yeah, and we have friends.
Yeah.
Remain friendly with them.
Mm-hmm. Nice. It's really nice. What about foster child? You had a foster child for a while? Or do you? There's a Robert Masonette?
Oh, here's a little boy that was at the Curtis home, and he was, I just became interested in him, and
Like Obama, right, Marty?
he was an attractive little boy that just needed a little attention, so we gave it to him.
Where did you meet him?
It was at the Curtis home. It was a home for children who were with troubled parents. You know, they.
Yeah.
And, the Curtis home was a home run under the auspices of St. Andrew's Episcopal Church.
Right.
Mhm.
Correct.
And at the time, I was in an ecumenical choral group in Meriden, and this choir director, who was the same ethnic background as Robert, I asked him if he would have room in his choir for Robert. So he did, yeah. He took over, and that was another outside interest for Robert. He was a nice kid.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you lost track with him?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Through
Mhm.
moving, and he was growing, and he did eventually get back with family. We met his grandmother and
Mhm.
his brother.
Nice family in New
Yeah.
Haven.
Yeah.
Mm. Good. So what were vacations like? You know, for the Rogans, what did you used to do for your vacations?
So,
There was like I guess there was a couple mentions of the Morgan House, Miss
Miss
Quam-
Quamicat.
Wisquamicat, and
Took us a while to venture forth on a vacation. We took a lot of small day trips,
mhm,
but then towards the time when the kids were growing,
After Billy got out of diapers,
Right.
we started to go for 2 weeks during the summer, the last week in
The
August,
last- right.
part of August. And we had a wonderful time for
Morgan
a
House
few
was
years.
mm,
a beautiful homestead that had been the prime house in Squamicut, which was a seaside resort in Rhode Island, right over the border from Connecticut.
mhm,
Beautiful beach, and we rented that for a week at first, and then expanded it to 2 weeks. And then we could hear the waves at night, we could walk to the beach. We had some wonderful meals there, right?
Yeah, we were lucky with the weather too. We
Yeah.
were very fortunate with the weather. For all the years that we went there, the last 2 weeks in August were great.
mhm,
Had a
yeah,
large living room, pine paneled, beautiful what kind of rattan furniture?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a very comfortable house.
Yeah.
So what is it like when you have all those kids? Does it feel like a vacation for the adults, or is it just a
It was a
different?
wonderful time for us.
Yeah, it was it
The
was a little
kid-
different.
The kids were on their best behavior.
3 meals a day anyway, you know. I
Right.
was in the
But
kitchen.
we had the best corn, the best chicken. We were all hungry from the salt there.
Oh, yeah.
Mary provided.
Uh huh. What was one of your favorite meals? What a couple of your staple meals you used to fix?
Oh, well.
Chicken and corn.
And tomatoes and pasta, and once a week we would have Chinese food.
Did you make the Chinese
Oh,
food?
no.
Oh, okay, you would buy.
I
You'd
would
carry out,
yeah,
huh?
and that was kind of like a treat. And I think we got pizza a couple of times
Right.
too.
Hmm.
That was a treat.
Was pizza a big thing? I guess it's kind of a staple these days, but that was more of a treat that you have.
yeah.
yes,
special,
and,
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So,
Kids were very happy and very appreciative. They looked forward
It was
to
well behaved while we were there.
just before going back to school, so it was a good time.
hmm So what were, just if you look at your lives and you look at some of the key decisions that you had to make in your lives, what do you think some of those decisions were? Like where you could have gone, taken this job or a different job?
Well, that did happen to us when we were looking for another house. We knew we had to move out of B Street because it was too small. And we had thought we would go to the state of Washington for a while. Sold off
We
half
had
the
lived in
furniture.
Tacoma.
John was born in Tacoma.
Hmm.
And, but then Andy Sullivan said, "Oh no, you shouldn't. You know, you can't go. You're expecting a baby. You could drive all the way out there." Oh, he said, "Why don't you talk to Vito Del Fago?" So that changed. That was the fork in the road.
We had sold some furniture.
Big decision, huh?
Within a couple of months of going.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
We're gonna travel in 2 cars.
And where you don't know, you were just gonna show
Just
up there and,
show up in Tacoma somewhere in the area that we thought we knew.
We didn't know much about the place.
this was for
Bowen
a
was,
job.
yeah, we'd have connected, we'd have done all right, but the thing is, the commute was too far.
Oh,
We'd
I
been back and
think
forth
of that.
half a dozen times.
Oh, and I think of all the things that could have gone wrong on a
Yeah.
trip like that with
Right.
6 children and a pregnant wife.
Jack, are you gonna pause for a second?
Yes,
Okay, when we hit pause?
thank you.
Okay.
Aren't we finished?
Almost, we're almost there, okay?
I'll be right back.
I think I've told you my whole life story.
Your whole life story, all I wanted to do is, could you tell me about your father?
My father was great. Yeah, he was
What's his name?
William Francis.
And where was he from?
He was born in Cambridge, and they were still living in Cambridge when he died.
So, and they're ethnic, they're from Ireland?
His mother and father were from Ireland.
They're both from Ireland, okay. So you were the oldest, you had Eddie, and there was Joe. And what was, can you tell me a little bit about Joe?
Not much. It's just a regular kid.
Really? I mean, did he die when he was young? I don't know anything about him.
No, he was older. He was older when he died. But kind of, we separated because we moved a lot and they stayed a lot. We saw more of Eddie and Josephine because Ed was in the service. He was in the Air Force and he was more, more outgoing and more. Joe was kind of a homebody.
So you lost track, more or less
Yeah.
lost track of Joe.
Yeah, and never married or he had friends, and that was just about all. I was very busy with, trying to bring up my family. And,
Yeah, I was sure you were.
and it
7
was-
children. Oh my
yeah,
God.
it was. And I had the 7 of them in 10 years, so it was.
It was all you could do just to keep things together at
Right.
home. Yeah. And then with, I guess Eddie.
They were a little more involved with us, especially before they had the children and afterwards too.
Yeah. So Josephine, did she ever live over here?
Yeah, sure.
See, I didn't even know
She
that.
came. She came when she was 17, and she lived with
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
Her life's been an adventure.
Sometimes she can tell you about her life. I'm not going to.
Yeah. No, that's okay. But did she? So she moved over here, and then when did she have Billy or Owen here?
They're both Americans.
Had no idea. They seem so Irish.
They were.
No, they don't seem deluded at all.
Said to Billy, I said, "How are you Irish doing here now?" He says, "I'm an American."
He told us at one time that he was thinking of joining the Air Force. And I
The
said,
U.S. Air Force.
well, that's what I was wondering. I said, does Ireland have an Air Force? He says, oh, the American Air Force. I said, oh, he says, I'm an
Yeah.
American
They
citizen.
consider themselves Americans.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I
They
guess
had-
that's why Owen was able to come over to New York to work.
Oh, yeah, they had dual citizenship.
Yeah. So then, when did Eddie pass away? I mean, is that when they decided to move back to Ireland?
Yes, basically.
Basically, yeah.
Took a while.
Close to it, huh?
Josephine was great. She picked up the pieces and started a new life, and
Yeah. She brought
went
up
through-
the 2 boys.
hard times, right?
Yeah.
And
When she first went over
she's
there.
remarkable.
Yeah. But we didn't.
She's a leader. She's
She's the oldest of the family too.
the strong one in that family.
So, last question here. I wanted to just find out about your political views, where did those develop? Where did you develop your
Cambridge.
Cambridge.
Cambridge?
I think the thing that probably solidified it was when I was carrying Peggy, they were going to close the Murphy General Hospital, which was a veterans hospital, and where I would be going to have Peggy. And my friend here wrote a letter to our, was he a congressman then?
Correct. Representative.
John F.
Jack Kennedy.
Mhm.
And he responded, the Murphy General Hospital did not close, and there were quite a few of us that had our babies there. And
Yeah, he
worked
wrote
out
back and told me they'd keep it open. Everyone was taken care of.
taken care of it, because they, you can't stop in the middle of 9 months and change over to another doctor.
So you think that was
I
a little
think-
bit of a turning point, knowing you could make
I
a
think
difference?
so. And I also, my father got a very nice letter from Tip O'Neill, who was the Speaker of the House in Massachusetts, I think, at the time.
Wow.
And he thanked me for singing at some political time that they had.
Mhm.
I don't even remember what it was. I wasn't aware of the
Then we
what
met
it meant.
James Michael Curley.
Oh yes, yeah. He was the ex-mayor of Boston who was in jail for a while for no good reason except some
Political revenge.
political
Yeah.
revenge.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, yeah, we're Democrats.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Jack, any strong influence with you? Why you chose the Democratic Party, or?
Well, my father was a Democrat. He had a plaque from James Michael Curley. He had been a coal miner. They'd gone through a long, arduous strike in England during the 20s. So he was basically in favor of anyone who supported the working man. And we were lucky enough to live in the 11th Ward, 11th Congressional District, where Tip O'Neill later on succeeded Jack Kennedy. Jack started his climb up towards the presidency in our ward.
Mm.
We were very political center. We had elections every 2 years, and we were all involved in it.
Mhm.
We loved Jack Kennedy, and we have been lifelong Democrats. We now support Obama. We have hopes for the future for him.
Mhm.
God bless him, God keep him safe,
Mm.
God give him a chance to show the world what he can do
Mhm.
for us. We've been fortunate growing up at a time with great leaders like FDR, Harry Truman, Jack Kennedy.
Mhm.
And even Clinton.
And Clinton, Bill Clinton, yeah.
I mean, that's really the way the Republicans went after him. I thought was very unfair.
Mhm.
It was
Mhm. Just dirty politics. Yeah.
compared to what the Democrats could have gone after